Alright, my friend requested for me to do a video of showing how to maintain an Sl94, just doing some basic maintenance. So, since I was bored, I decided to make this video today. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, now first, just take out the bolt, just pull up the bolt, then pull it out. Now what you're going to want to do is, you're just going to want to take a dirty, like a cleanish rag, like an old rag, clean it off. Get all the dirt off there, get any excess lube that you might have put on last time off. Just put, I don't know if you guys can see this one, right here there's a little dot. You just want to put one little drip of oil right there, and then you can just use your fingers to spread that around the rest of the bolt. That's all you need is one drop. Don't over lube, or else it's going to be coming out your eyes. Your gun's just not going to be shooting accurate. You're going to have oil all down your breech, so you don't really want to do much more than 1 or 2 drops. Then you just put it in, and then to test if it's in, you just look down, and if the rammer moved, you know you put your bolt in right. So next, we're going to move on to taking out the rammer. Just insert your wrench right there. Twist, take off the back cap. Now for this, to get the easiest way to get the rammer out, put your bolt in, put it in farther than you usually would, and then just pull it back and it should drop right out. Alright. Now you're going to want to take your rammer, take that rag again, clean it off. And now the manual says to use the oil on this, but I like to use the grease on the rammer, but for this video I'll just do the oil. Put 1 drop of oil on. Put 1 drop of oil on all the O-rings. Just kind of spread it around. Alright, now so then once you got all your oil on, you're going to want to put it in with this end, the end with the notch in it. You're going to want to put that end in towards the end of the gun. Sorry for the bad angles here. I'm recording off my computer's webcam, so some of the angles are a bit awkward to get you guys to see it. Then you're going to just want to put this back on. You don't have to tighten it down super hard. Just tighten it down like a little bit tighter than finger tight. Alright, next we're going to move on to the high pressure rag. Just unscrew it with your hand. Set this off to the side over here, 1 sec, excuse me. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're just going to take your hands and twist this apart. Now this can be hard because you don't want to take anything sharp like needle nose pliers to get this out. You gotta pull this out, pull the piston out. It's really hard to pull out sometimes because it's all greasy. So if you want, you can just very carefully take like an Allen wrench, very carefully, and push it out. You're gonna want to be very careful when doing this so you don't scratch anything. So then, out comes your piston. You're going to want to just clean off the piston, just wipe it off with that same rag that we've been using this whole time. Once that's clean, take your spring and wipe that off too. And again now, the manual says to use the e-oil, but since this is a regulator, I'm going to use some grease. This is just the Eclipse grease. Now, you're just going to want to take a little bit, like I don't know if you guys can see this, just get a little bit on top. Get a fingerful, that's all you need to do this. Now, just going to want to take it and kind of try to distribute it as evenly as you can along the piston. Now what you don't want big globs of grease on there, or you don't want oil dripping off it if you're using the oil. You just want to give it enough, just enough. As you can see here, it's pretty evenly distributed. Now you can also take the spring, just put whatever's on, put a little bit of the grease on that's still on your hand on the spring, and then you're just going to want to drop the piston in, just kind of wiggle it in, and then you're going to hear it clicking like that. And as for the bottom part, you don't really need to get to the rake seat to do any basic maintenance, so I'm not going to go down there. Sorry for that. This is really hard because my hands are covered in grease and this gun's getting covered in grease. I'm going to have to clean it off after this, but what are you going to do? Alright, anyways, next, on to the LPR. You're just going to want to unscrew the front cap. Get in with your hands. Again, you're gonna have a piston, spring. This is what it's gonna look like when you take it off. These are really hard to get out. The spring might just fall out like that, but the piston's hard to get out. So, again, I would not recommend you use needle nose pliers to get this out. But so you gotta actually kind of try to work with this. It's a lot harder if you don't have fingernails, which I don't. So it's kind of difficult to get this out. So you're going to have to bear with me here while I try to get this out. Man, this is one of the most difficult parts, is getting out this piston right here. Shit. As you can see, I'm having quite a hard time getting this out actually. So I'm going to have to wipe my hands off here, see if I can try to get this thing out there. If you cannot get it out, you can very carefully take needle nose pliers out. I'll go get a pair to show you how to do that. Now, again, since you are using metal tools on very sensitive parts of the gun, you're going to want to be very careful when doing it. Let's see if I can get you a good view. You're just going to want to grab it very carefully. Don't squeeze down too hard on the end of the piston. Just very carefully grab it and wiggle it out. And then you're going to have your piston. Alright. Now, again, you could take out the adjustment screw too, but you don't really need to do that for basic maintenance. And you don't want to be tipping this around because there's a lot of springs in here that can fall out, so you're going to want to be very careful of that. As you can see, a spring just fell out on me. So now you're going to want to clean off your springs, especially if you dropped them. You're going to want to clean them off. Put those off to the side. If you have a tech mat, that's probably best because there's a lot of parts and you don't want to lose them, because that would be bad. And then you're just going to want to take your piston, clean it off, wipe it down, just make sure there's no dirt on it anywhere. And then you're going to want to take your grease again. Again, the manual says to use oil. Same rules as the HPR, just try to distribute it as evenly as you can. You don't want any big globs of grease or any excess amounts of oil anywhere. So just follow the same rules for the HPR and you'll be fine. Now, as you can see, it's pretty evenly distributed. So now what you're going to do is you're going to want to put this all back. If anything fell out, you're going to want to make sure that you put it back in the correct order. And these little springs are especially fun to get back into place when you have lube all over your hands, so this is going to be a challenge. Now, again, if you can't get this to going because you have lube on your hands, whatever, just try to like find an Allen key to put it on, and then just kind of guide it down onto the little peg that's going to be down there. Just drop it on. Shouldn't be all too hard if you use an Allen key. Then you're just going to, what you're going to see is that, unless your spring falls out, which mine did, so. And then you're going to put that in, put the piston back in like that. And then you're going to put the larger spring, which is it's got a yellow tint to it, so that's how you can tell them apart. One's like a really shiny steel or something, and then this one's like kind of like brass. So alright, then now you're just gonna want to put that back. Just take it, screw it onto the front of the gun. Pretty simple. Due to the purposes of time, I wasn't cleaning lube off my hands, so that's what made this especially hard. So if you're doing this at your house and you have plenty of time, I recommend you clean off your hands before trying to take apart the LPR and the HPR, because there's a lot of small parts that you can drop and lose. Luckily I didn't lose any. Well, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Damn it. I'm sorry about this, guys. My computer's being a real bitch right now and it won't let me end the video, so gotta try to find the stop recording button here. My bad. I'm sorry for this again.